Hey everyone, Dumont Owen here. It is noon on Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Lucrative LinkedIn Live. Now, today I'm going to be talking about how to build a LinkedIn profile that sells, one that converts like a sales page. But before we get started, who's out there? What are you celebrating today? I'm celebrating that all the daffodils are blooming in Cleveland. And I'm really hoping that for the first time in the 27 years that I have lived here, that it doesn't snow after the daffodils start blooming and squish them all. So I am celebrating that it's a pretty day. It's in the 70s here, and the daffodils are in bloom. So anybody out there with a special celebration today, just something that you are really happy about. Could be something that happened during your week. Maybe it's a win. Maybe it's as simple as, that you got something done that you've been struggling with. Maybe it's just that you made it to this presentation live, because it's always better to be here live so that you can ask questions. So let's get started. Just a couple of pieces of housekeeping here. If you are watching on Facebook, please go above. There's a box that you can click that will allow StreamYard to show your name if you want to ask questions and if you want for me to get back to you. Also, if as I'm going through you have questions, go ahead and enter them in the chat. I will come back and I will look at them when I can stop, and we'll go from there. So that's about it, as far as the housekeeping for today. I do want you to know that we have more presentations coming up this month. I believe next week is 7 ways to find your ideal clients, and the following week is eluding me right this moment. The last weekend of the month, or the last Wednesday of the month, I'm going to do something on how to use Chat GPT the right way to generate content. Because what a lot of people don't understand is that if you do it the wrong way, it's going to shut down the reach on all your content on social media and on Google and Bing. So you want to tune in for that one. Okay, so let's get to the topic for today. I am going to add my slides and let's go from here. Okay, so what we're talking about is how to build a LinkedIn profile that sells while you sleep, or sells, converts like a sales page. And I keep coming back to this topic. I do it every couple of months because no matter what strategy you're using on LinkedIn, if you don't have the right profile, none of it's going to work, because for every strategy you use, whether it's connecting, whether it's prospecting, whether it's building relationships, everything goes back to your profile. Everything. Think about it a minute. If you make a comment in the news feed, what do people see? They see your headline. So they're going to come check out your profile. If you invite someone to connect, what are they going to do? They're going to look at your profile, right? And if you hold on, just making sure that we are recording. Yes. And every once in a while I get a scare. Okay, and no matter what you are doing on LinkedIn, it always goes back to your profile. Now, for those of you who are joining us for the first time today, there are a couple of things I want you to know. First of all, stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you my LinkedIn checklist that will help you create your LinkedIn profile. So you want to make sure you stay tuned in for that. And it'll also, if you opt into the checklist, it then in a couple of days will give you a guide. So there are different things that you want you want to use. So stick around for that. The second thing is, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dumont Owen. I am a master personal and digital brand strategist specializing in helping coaches and consultants get more clients in record time using LinkedIn. So that's enough about me. Finally, what you are seeing here is the lucrative LinkedIn system. This is something that I developed because, quite frankly, I was having trouble getting leads on LinkedIn, and the advice I was getting didn't count. Okay, it was crap. All right. So I developed my own system so that people who follow me can learn how to develop develop a pipeline of clients on LinkedIn, and also convert them to, or a pipeline of leads, and then convert them to clients using LinkedIn. And you should be able to do this once you implement the whole system in about 30 minutes a day. But today we're only talking about one part of the system. We are talking about, the first part of the system. The first step is clarity. The second is awareness. That's where we are today, talking about your profile. The third is lead generation. And the fourth is sales and analysis. So they're all there. But today we are concentrating on step 2, awareness. All right. So here's what we're going to cover: where your profile fits in the LinkedIn lead generation system. Well, we just talked about that for a second. Some of the guidelines that you want to follow when you build your profile. We're going to talk about your branding content, because the fastest way to get clients on LinkedIn is by promoting your personal brand. Oh yeah. So we're going to talk about that. And finally, I'm just going to give you some quick tips. Okay, so first of all, why do most LinkedIn profiles not work? And they really don't. And here's why. One is me too. They are like someone else's, and it's really tempting to look at other people's profiles who are our competitors. And I encourage you to do that, but not in order to copy from them. What you want to do to make your brand stand out is to make your profile different from others. So you have to know how you are like your competitors, and you have to know how you're different, because people aren't going to buy from you because you're the best. I mean, 900 million people, over 900 million people on LinkedIn, chances are somebody might be just a wee tiny bit better, but you're different, and you're their kind of different. And that is why people buy from you. Or you're the best kept secret. Don't make your profile static, and make sure that it's visible. Go into your privacy and settings, privacy and settings and privacy, and make sure that when you're working on your profile, you're not annoying people. So first, while you're building your profile, you want to turn off the visibility on your profile, but don't forget to turn it back on, because if you forget to turn it back on, it becomes it becomes a best kept secret, because nobody's seeing it. Same thing when you're turning off your visibility. When you look at other people's profiles, turn it back on, because otherwise they won't see yours. All right. Passive versus active. That means you don't do anything with it. It's been sitting there for, somebody told me the other day, there's been sitting there for 3 years. Hadn't changed at all. That is not good, folks. You got to change it. And not only do you have to change it, but you have to put things on it that are moving and that capture people's attention. And yes, that means video. Okay, you have no target. In other words, it's not directed towards your niche. It's not directed towards specific people. It's directed towards everyone. And if you try and attract everyone, you guessed it, you don't get anyone. Okay, it's incongruent, meaning that It is incongruent with who you are as an individual. And this is, again, all about branding, because a powerful brand is authentic. It's authentic to you. And so when your profile is incongruent with who you are, with your brand, then people aren't going to buy it. Now, there's another place I see incongruent show up too on LinkedIn profiles, and that is that what you say in your headline may be incongruent with what you say in your about section, which may be incongruent with what you're saying in your experience sections. So you want to keep those same themes running throughout. You want to be true to yourself, and you want it to seem totally authentic. Okay, it's not branded. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Your profile has to be branded. It has to promote your brand. And finally, it's not optimized for search engine optimization. And that means you're not using the right keywords. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Oh, hey, Bob. No problem. You're in plenty of time, and we're just getting started. So you can catch the intro on the replay. Okay, the 5 C's of a powerful profile. And these are all really, really important. Number 1, it's client focused. That means that it's not about you, it's about them. And it's really easy. In fact, it's really understandable that we want to go into our profile and we want to tell people how wonderful we are, how great we are at our topic, at our subject area, and what experts we are. And that is important. That's very important. But first, you need to convey to people that they have landed in the right place. You have to make your profile focused on the problems and challenges of your ideal clients. Okay? Secondly, it must be compelling. Now, you've probably already heard that the first few lines, it could be 3 if it's on your mobile, it could be 4 if it's on your desktop. It depends on the size of the screen. But those first few lines really need to be compelling. They need to be the hook, okay? That's going to bring people in. Now, that's going to show up in a lot of ways. So those first 3 lines have to be compelling, but also each sentence has to be so compelling that they want to read the next one. Okay? Let me repeat that. Each sentence of your profile, each bullet, each whatever you put in there has to be so compelling that your readers want to keep reading. All right, it has to be conversational. This was really hard for me because I come out of higher education. And so I love to do video because I don't censor it with that academia speech. And I've been out of academe for, over 10 years doing this. And you know what? It still creeps in. So you want to make sure that it's conversational. You have to make sure it's credible. This is where that expertise comes in. So first you get their attention by talking about them, and then you establish your expertise. And then finally, there has to be a clear call to action. Remember that you want to treat your profile just like you would a landing page or a sales page, okay? It needs to direct the people who are on your profile to the next stage of your sales funnel. So what is the next thing you want them to do? Is it to download your free gift? Is it to subscribe to your newsletter? We'll talk more about this, but you must have a clear call to action telling them what to do next. People want to know, what do they do next to reach out to you? Okay. All right, so here's what you're keeping in mind. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. It's a conversation. And we're going to talk about a lot of ways you can make your profile conversational. It's going to address their problems and challenges. It's going to spotlight your solutions to those problems and challenges. It's going to focus on results. Here's what you get when you work with me, tangible results. This is what happens. This is the result of my solutions. So, problems, solutions, results. Okay. And then finally, you're going to provide that guidance with that clear call to action. Okay. So, let's take a look at some of the elements of your profile. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to optimize your contact information. And some of you may already know this, but it bears repeating because there are some new developments. First of all, you are going to want to customize your profile URL, because when you first look at that, and that's right here, you are going to see that it has, and I'm trying to read it, LinkedIn /IN, and then I think it's / and it's a whole bunch of gobbledygook. Substitute your name there. Or if your name is really, really common, make it something that will stand out on Google or on LinkedIn. Okay. Then you are going to, and I'm having trouble seeing this because my eyes are not as good today. Okay, then you can add 3 websites. And your websites don't have to be your website. They can be a landing page. They can be your calendar link. They can be your free gift. They can be your blog. Whatever you want to put a URL for there. One says your website, and I think they have a choice of your blog in there, but you can also select other, and then you can type in what that is and put that URL. So you can have up to 3 of those. And there's a new feature that wasn't even on here when I created this slide. I will update it before the next time, but at the very bottom of what you're seeing here, and it's going to ask for your phone. That's optional. I would have an email for sure that they can connect with. If you work from your home, you might not want to put your address. That's fine. Twitter handle is great. Birthday is great because it's an excuse for people to reach out for you, and you don't have to put your year. Okay. And then the final thing that is not showing up on here is an opportunity to have people reach out to you at something else. It shows up right under your headline. And for instance, mine says, apply for a LinkedIn strategy session, or apply to work with me. It's something like that. So that's another one that will go directly to whatever you point it to. For me, it points to the application to work with me. Okay, so you always want to have something there that people can go to. So this is a really cool thing that has been added not too long ago. Okay, now know your brand, and a powerful brand has six. And I am going to, hold on. I'm going to adjust my view here and zoom in because I'm having trouble seeing my screen. And it's not, hold on. Let's try one more thing. Okay. It's for some reason I'm having trouble seeing my screen, but darn, it is not allowing me to view this. Okay. Let's see if it'll let me go to. No, it's still not letting me see it, but so I'm having trouble reading it. But the first characteristic is that it's authentic. Okay, it has to be absolutely authentic to you. Secondly, it's going to express your point of view. There used to be 2 sisters years ago. I was a kid when they were on, but they were like the biggest advice columnists back when there were newspapers delivered to people's houses. It was Ann Landers and Dear Abby. And these women were extremely opinionated, but everybody read their columns because they had an opinion. One time somebody would write in and they'd scold them. They'd tell them they were dead wrong. And then they might say, one of them used to say something like 50 lashes with a wet noodle and then tell them off. So you want to have a point of view. You don't want to be rude about your point of view. You want to be assertive, and you want to definitely give your opinion about the way things should be done. There are lots of other LinkedIn experts out there, but I have my way that I teach it and that I teach you to succeed with it. So you want to have a point of view. 3, you want to tell your story. And I'm sorry I keep leaning in like this, but I really am having trouble seeing. So you want to tell your story, and you don't have to tell it in great detail in your profile, but you do want to allude to it. And you want it to be compelling. I already mentioned that your brand should be compelling. You want it to address a certain niche, and I can't read the last one. I really cannot read that. I'm sorry, I cannot read the last one. So you guys are going to have to read it for yourself. Sorry about that. Oh, wait, let me change glasses here and see if that, still can't see it. I don't know why it's not showing up enough. I'm going to have to redo that slide. Okay. All right, so here I want to show you a little bit about how to build your brand using LinkedIn. And the first arrow that you're seeing up here is pointing to your banner. Your banner is an excellent place that you can promote your brand. You can promote it with your brand colors. Yeah, Maria, I know it's a bit, oh wait, hold on. There we go. Thank you. But I'm not able to see your comments. So I'm going to stop at the end. So just start putting comments in the chat and I will respond to them. Hold on. Let me just, let me put show. That way they'll show. And now I can go back to full screen. There we go. Thank you, Maria. That was, yes. At least I didn't have a meltdown like I did last week. This is my 89th broadcast. And would you believe that twice now I've had problems, but thank you, Maria, for pointing that out. Okay, so now you can see everything. Dumont and Associates is my company name, although we are rebranding, so stay tuned. And my profile is branded with my logo, who I help. You see the LinkedIn image because I'm a LinkedIn expert, and then a tagline that I sometimes use: more clients, more revenue, more life. And you can create your own banner, the perfect dimensions using Canva. Okay, and you can do it for free. So look on Canva, and you can have your logo. You can spotlight your best program. You can have, whatever you want there to promote your brand. So you want to promote your brand colors. Mine are blue and red because blue stands for knowledge, red stands for passion, and I am both. And blue stands for expertise too. So you want to make sure that it reflects your brand colors. Okay, over here. Oh, and before I move on, the point about Canva, just go to Canva, in the search field, enter LinkedIn banners, and boom, you're going to have about 60 choices, and you can change the colors and do whatever you want. Okay, your photo. Now, a couple of things about your photo. You want to be facing forward, looking the camera in the eyes, a big old smile, appropriate jewelry, dress the way that, is considered appropriate in your profession. If you wear glasses, wear them in the photo. You want people to recognize you if they see you in real life, and use a recent photo. I'm sorry, a photo from 10 years ago, it may have been great, but that was 10 years ago. Okay, so keep it current. Now, one thing you may not know is that on your phone with the LinkedIn mobile app, you can upload a 30-second video. And that is terrific because it's a way to really start a conversation. In this video, you can do something as simple as saying who you help, how you help them, and the results. And you can, start out by saying, hey, I'm so and so, welcome to my LinkedIn profile. And just go through that. And then at the end, tell them what you'd like them to do and thank them again. It's only 30 seconds. So you're going to have to practice it because that's really short. But it will make a huge, huge difference because it's that start of a personal conversation. Okay, next is your title. Now, mine says Dumont Gherkin Owen, PhD. You can put initials behind your title. You can put a certification, but here's what I would suggest to you. If you have multiple certifications, like I think I have 9, don't put them behind your name because people don't know what all those acronyms mean. So maybe just put in your headline that what you are, but don't put a whole bunch of acronyms there. I'm a CCMC, I can't even remember the whole thing, for executive leadership and development coach. I have all kinds of personal branding and those kinds of certifications, but you don't see them behind my name because people don't understand all those initials. Okay. Now, in your headline, this is the next place that you can really customize it. You can insert something. One of my hashtags is LinkedIn by Dumont. And I always recommend to people that you have a hashtag that's just yours. But then you want to include your title, what it is you do, who you help, and the results of how you help them. Okay. We call that the zing. So in mine, it just says that I'm a master personal and digital brand strategist and a LinkedIn success coach for coaches, consultants, trainers, and service providers, and that I help them get more clients in record time. So you want all of that in there. And this is an older one. And I'm not talking about creator mode, but creator mode is what you're seeing with the hashtags that are created out here. And I have a lot more followers than that now, but this is a few months ago. So next slide, please. All right. So the LinkedIn headline formula, and this is an actual formula that you can use. You want your title, like you saw with mine, Master Personal and Digital Brand Strategist, LinkedIn Success Coach. You want some keywords, okay? And then you want the sizzle. Okay, your keywords. In my title, you see personal digital brand strategist, LinkedIn coach, trainer. All of those are keywords on LinkedIn. Okay, and how do you test which ones to use? Go to your search field, enter a hashtag, and enter, like personal. I can enter personal brand strategist, and see how that shows up. Or I can look up hashtag personal branding. You just want the hashtag and the keyword or keyword phrase so that you can see which one is going to be better for you. Okay, so that's a quick way to do that. You also want to include some sizzle, and the sizzle is where you tell them the results. Okay, what are you doing for these folks? And so in this one, this is an old one, and I had said helping coaches and consultants land lucrative leads without the sleeves. Okay, so that's one version I once had. Okay, and change them up. Remember, I said don't be passive with your LinkedIn profile. Keep changing it up because that gets people's attention. All right. Here's another one. Lawyer and certified life coach to lawyers who are over the overwhelm and want to live lives with less stress and far more fulfillment. So lawyer, certified life coach, all of those are keywords. And, it's very clear who this person works with and what they deliver. They work with lawyers who are dealing with, overwhelm and being stressed out by the pace that they're keeping up with. And they want to, be able to live their lives with a lot less of that stress and a lot more fulfillment. Well, if I were an attorney, this would really speak to me. Okay. All right, so here are a couple of examples that I just want to show you. This is Randy Bussin. Randy is a personal brand strategist. She's monkey. And usually I don't recommend having a whole bunch of pictures of you because you've got your big photo right here. So you don't want a big picture of yourself in your banner. But these are pictures of her in the way that she interacts with clients. So, working with someone one-on-one, working with someone by phone, she's on her mobile, doing a workshop. All of these are things she does. So great banner. Then we have her headshot. Perfect. She happens to be one of those lucky people who can wear her brand color. She looks great in blue. So, her hair is professionally styled. Her makeup looks good. She's looking directly into the camera. She's got a big old smile showing that she's approachable. Just a really great headshot. Very simple title, right? Or name right here, just putting her MBA behind, and then read this headline: Trusted Advisor Coach. Advisor and coach are both keywords for rising stars. Excuse me real quick. Oh, excuse me. Along with the blooming daffodils come budding maple trees, and I am allergic to maple trees. So that's what's going on. Okay, so trusted advisor coach for rising stars, execs, entrepreneurs. Capitalize on strengths, illuminate your personal brand, return on investment, stand out, and open doors. Now, she works with, it's very clear she's got some keywords in there: advisor, coach, entrepreneurs, execs, and she's telling you what she helps you do. Capitalize on your strength, illuminate your personal brand, return on investment, and then stand out and open doors. So she's got it all there. The banner, the photo, the title, or her name, and the headline. Excuse me. I apologize. This is what happens when you're live. Okay. All right. Another example, another quick one. This is Deb Dibb. Now, Deb is a master personal brand strategist like me, and she is the most energetic and I mean, she's just like a ball of energy. That's all I can say. And this banner just speaks to her personality. It really does. And the oranges, the yellows. She is all about branding, and there are a lot of different brand colors in there. So that's Deb. Look at her profile picture. Now she has a neutral background. That's another important feature that I hadn't mentioned. She wears glasses. She's wearing them again, looking straight into that camera. Did you ever see a better smile than that? She really, really looks friendly and approachable. Note, she doesn't have a lot of stuff cluttering up things behind her name. And she has a brilliant headline. And that's because she works with career professionals, career coaches, career counselors, career consultants, and she helps them take what they've already written and polish it up. She is a master at this. So here's her headline: brand storyteller, editor, polisher, writing strategy coach. I help busy, gutsy career pros get unstuck. Fast, fun, done. So keywords, brand, storyteller. Storyteller is one of the hottest keywords out there right now. Editor, publisher, writing, coach, strategy, all of those are keywords. All right. And then she tells you exactly who she works with. She even tells you their personality. Okay. And then she tells you exactly what she does. And she throws in an example: fast, fun, done. And that is Deb to a T. All right. So perfect bit of branding there. All right, so let's talk just briefly about creator mode. I do an entire presentation on creator mode, so we're not going to go a lot into it today. I just want to show you a couple of things. Underneath here, those hashtags you get with creator mode, and the followers you get with creator mode. So just once again, I want to show that, and you know that over here you're going to see the name of your company and the name of your university if you went to a university or college. Okay. Oh, and one last thing I want to point out here: adding a profile section. This isn't about that, but you know, if you click add a profile section, you will have the opportunity to add your skills to all the sections of your profile, not just your endorsements. The key is there that you have to be following that hashtag. Okay, so let's talk about the about section for a minute, because that is more branded content. So you're going to want to, before you ever start, know your why. Why do you do what you do? And your why story can be about why you work with the niche that you work with, why you work with those people, why you became an expert in what you do, what happened that made you become an expert in that area. So knowing your why is really important. That becomes the basis of your brand story. Okay, you're going to want to include your personal brand statement. And your personal brand statement is who you are, who you help, how you help them, and the results. So we've already seen it in your headline. We've already seen it in that cover video you can do. So lots of ways to use your brand statement. You're going to want to identify your keywords. Because you're going to want to use them throughout your about section. You're going to want to tell your story. You're going to be crystal clear about your niche. This is all in your about section. You're going to focus on their pain points. No pain, no sale. You have to know what their pain points are and address those. Consider including snippets from your recommendations. Now, I don't see this advice coming from anyone else. But if when someone lands on your profile, they have to go all the way to the bottom of your profile to see your recommendations. You want them to understand right off the bat that you are exactly who you are. You want to offer social proof, something that someone else said about you. So take a little snippet, and by a snippet, I mean no more than 1 to 2 sentences that just says, something great about you. And, just says, you can have their name and their location. You can have just their name. You can have, something from your website. It doesn't have to be from your recommendations on LinkedIn. It can be, as long as it's a legitimate testimonial, use it there. Okay. And another great place to use testimonials is in your featured section. Put those video testimonials in there. Okay. You want to present your solutions. We talked about that. And then you want to tell them to do next with your call to action. Okay, so let's look at kind of a couple of formats here real quickly. One is what I call the headline format or the newspaper format. It's kind of based on that who, what, where, when, why, and how. So you can use those, and the way you would do that is by listing those down the side of the page, down a left-hand column, and then you would say like who I help, and then across from that you would have the name of the people in your niche, what I do, or what other people say. That's where you can put that snippet or talk about your expertise. where you've seen me, where you can find me. If you've been highly published, or if you've been on newspapers or on radio stations, you can put that there. Or you can put where you can find me, how you locate me. Why I do it, there's your why story, your story about yourself. When I do it. Now, you may not have this in, but you may have, for instance, I have a course called the Lucrative LinkedIn System that goes live 3 times a year. So I could put that in there, because I know my dates that is going to happen. I also know my dates when I do my three-day content marketing, what do I want to call it? Intensive. I do a 3-day marketing intensive on that. So, you can put all those kinds of things there. How I help, how I serve you, and then the call to action. So you want to have all of those things. All right, so here's an example. What I do. This is the rephrasing of your brand statement. Be sure to focus on your clients, their goals, and their challenge. How I do it. This is leveraging your strengths and skills. And you're going to talk about your strengths and skills, and then you're going to give them results. Result, result, result. 3 bullets. 3 bullets is always the best way to do it. You don't want to do 4. You don't want to do 2. Do 3. Okay, about section. How I'm different, or how we're different. This is where you promote your brand differentiator. This is where you're telling people how you are different from your competitors, the things that make you unique. And this is where you can talk about your mission, your values, your credentials, your strengths, your purpose, personality characteristics, and interests. So something that differentiates you from everyone else. Why I do it. And this is your brand story. The true hero of your story is your client. So that's what you want to keep in mind. So did you overcome a problem that they have? For instance, I was a career coach at first, and I had to close my first business because I knew nothing about marketing. I came out of higher ed. I had nothing to do with that. So I actually ended up closing down my business. And that's when I decided that I better get out there and learn how to market myself. And that's why I work with coaches and consultants and service providers. And that's why I work specifically on LinkedIn, because it was a quick way for me to really get in the groove and start finding and converting my ideal clients. Okay, so were you mentored or inspired by someone you knew? Did you study under a master? I studied under William Arruda, who is like one of the pioneers for personal branding. I'm one of his few master's level students. So you can talk about that. Are you a sage? Have you just learned this by being on this earth and working in this area enough years to have that unique body of knowledge, that viewpoint? So all of those can be in there. What my clients say, that's that snippet. Your next step. This is where your call to action goes. Subscribe to your newsletter, opt into your lead magnet. And then I want you to remember something. You can only put one call to action in your about section. Now, please remember this. This does not mean that you don't have other calls to action. You can, just only one per section, because research shows that if you give people a choice, they won't do either one. So you could have one call to action under your headline with that link that goes to, say, your lead magnet or an application to work with you. You could have another one in your about section that says, download my lead magnet. Or, hold on a second. My computer's come unplugged and I am about ready to run out of. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. My computer came unplugged. We are changing my office around, so we've got a few things going on. So, and then your next steps. So only use one, but you can use one in your about section. You can use one in each of your experience sections. So don't think you only have one opportunity, okay? All right. Your about section is where you do the storytelling. So this is a second way that you can do it. This is the way my profile is set up. It's not quite as easy to do, but you can start by answering the questions that I just gave you and then put them into a storytelling format. So this conveys a commonality with your target audience. So you might start out by saying, are you a member of, and then you're going to name your niche, who needs to, and then you're going to talk about building, achieving, overcoming, and then you're going to say what their number one goal or their biggest challenge is. I get that. I can help, or I can help with that. Or I specialize in, I could say, I specialize in helping people get clients in record time on LinkedIn. That might be one way you could do it. My clients have 3 challenges or 3 common challenges. I think I say my clients have 3 challenges in common, and then list 3 challenges. Like one would be, they know their ideal clients are on LinkedIn, but they don't know how to find them. That could be one of them. So you're talking about the 3 major challenges that your potential clients would face. Then you're going to talk about your brand story. I've been there. This is what you overcame, or who mentored you, or how you got the results that they are seeking. Okay? Then you're going to talk about your talent or your gift or your genius. My unique genius is helping you lose weight without severe or fad diets, something like that. And then the result. And then finally, your call to action. So I'm going through this quickly, but I want to cover everything and give you an idea. I cannot tell you everything about your profile in 1 hour, but I can give you a really good introduction. Okay, in your featured section, you are going to want to, this is where you can really spice up your profile and you can really promote your brand. So for here I have, this is, I believe this is one of my newsletters that you're seeing there, because I publish a newsletter every week on LinkedIn. There's a YouTube video that I did recently, how to find your ideal clients on LinkedIn. And there's also a copy of my essential LinkedIn profile checklist. So I have a copy of my newsletter, I have a video or a live stream that I've done on LinkedIn, and I have my free gift. And some kind of a combination of those things are always good. You could also, if you don't have videos yet, feature one of your certificates or feature one of your articles. Just keep changing it up. All right. Now, tips for your experience sections. Your experience section is a great way to highlight different niches. I just had a question on this. I just finished recording a video. I'm launching an app next month, and I was doing a video for it about some of the questions I get. And one of the questions I get a lot is, what do you do if you have 2 different niches? Well, you can handle that in your experience section, because you can have 2 different niches highlighted in 2 different sections of your experience. And that's a great way to deal with it. Optimize your headlines with keywords and your brand statement, just like you did in your profile headline. Okay, you're going to do the same thing over. You're going to use that same formula of title plus keywords plus sizzle. Okay, emphasize the results you provide and reinforce that with social proof, another snippet. Okay, and then finally include a call to action. All right, other information you're going to include. You're going to include your education, your certifications and licensures, your accomplishments. And accomplishments are things that may not be essential to what you're doing, but round you out. Maybe you speak 5 languages. Maybe you speak one well. Maybe you won an award in Toastmasters. Maybe you started a foundation or you volunteer, or any of those things can be listed in your accomplishments section. Do you have publications? Accomplishments. But you can also put that in your publications. You're going to have your skills and endorsements. You're going to have your recommendations. And then finally, at the very bottom, it gives you a chance for your interests, your groups, who you're following, what companies you're following. All those things are important. You want to fill out every single section for 2 reasons. One, LinkedIn favors profiles that are complete, that in which all the sections are complete. Secondly, when you fill in, actually there are 3 reasons. When you fill in all the sections, it gives you more opportunities to use your keywords and skills. And then finally, by filling in all those things, you are giving people ways to relate to you. If you're in a group, you might give them an idea. Hey, I'm going to go check them out in the group and get to know them. If you're following certain influencers, they're going to get an idea about what matters to you. Okay. And if you are following a certain company, that's more information. So you want to fill out that further information. Okay. So a few final tips. Know your niche, use a conversational tone, use the right keywords, use testimonial snippets to build credibility, brand your headlines, your about section, your experience sections. Up your Google juice with images and or video. Google loves images. And what does Google love more than images? Moving images. Okay, enough said. Avoid keyword stuffing. Now, I encourage you to use keywords liberally, but use them where they occur naturally. LinkedIn, social media platforms, and Google and Bing don't just look at lists that keywords have anymore, in lists of keywords anymore. They look for them in context. So you want them to flow naturally. And when you put in too many keywords, it makes it choppy and hard to understand. And for crying out loud, don't put hashtags all through your about section. It's really choppy and not a good way to do it. Okay, optimize your profile with multimedia. And then finally, you can include your appointment calendar and your website links, do that kind of thing. Okay. These are some important links. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can email me at dumont@dumontowen.com, and you can download my LinkedIn profile checklist. And I'm going to get out of this right now, and I am going to stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I can see if, yeah, thanks, Maria. That was so nice. I am going to, hold on. I'm going to go over here and grab the checklist URL so I can, whoops, come here. Checklist URL and plop it in here for those of you who are live. I want you to be able to get that. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay. If you have questions and you're watching this on the replay, no problem. Just email me or direct message me on LinkedIn. And if we're not connected, you can go to my webpage. You can hit more and select connect out of the drop-down menu. And that's going to, and then you can put a message in there and say, hey, Dumont, I want to get more of this information, or I have a question about, the presentation. Just tell me in your invitation that you were attending my presentation, and I will see that and I will get that information to you. Okay. So listen, this has been another enjoyable day. Sorry about the small slides at first. I forgot about the enlarge factor, and I will see you next week talking about 7 ways to find your ideal clients on LinkedIn. So for now, this is Dumont Owen saying ta-ta for now.